Hi, I'm Cameron, and I don't just read comics, I love them. On today's episode of Cameron Reads Comics, I'm going to be reviewing the McFarlane Toys Batman White Knight set. I don't have all the figures, but I think I have the coolest ones. So stay tuned, go check out what we got for you. I think you're going to like what we have. So today we have the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Batman White Knight line in front of us. So as you can see today, we have the Azrael Batman armor, we have the Batman White Knight standard Batman look, and the Jack Napier Joker like GCPD look. So we are going to go through each of these figures individually, and we're also going to unbox them so you can have a really great look at all these figures. I didn't have enough money to get the red Azrael figure, but that's only because I'm not made of money. So let's go check out the figures we do have. So for Sean Murphy's Batman White Knight look for Batman Bruce Wayne, I think that the initial look is very creative and obviously based on Batman the Animated Series. If you have ever read this story in particular, you know that he draws heavily from the Batman animated family by Paul Dini and Bruce Timm. Some newer designs that I think he kind of made his own were the bat collar that you have on Batman. You can see the collar that he has, and the longer leg boots that go up the entire leg, as opposed to having I guess bat undies. He's wearing the longer boot style. So also really interesting that he has some shorter gloves going on. If you look at the accessories of the figure, you can see two different bat ropes as well as a grappling hook. So yeah, now we've seen the exterior. Let's unbox this thing. Now, as we have Batman unboxed, I think one of the key details within this figure is the collar. And I think that personally, I wasn't a huge fan of the collar as I was reading the series, but as you give it a better look and as you look at it a little bit closer, I think it works. And especially as the series went on, I became a bigger fan of the collar. I think that it has a great look to it. If you're looking for more of a Batman vampire kind of look, like Dracula-esque bat kind of look, I think the collar works, which this is the series that made me a believer. And I think as you look at as a costume as a whole, it really just works with the idea of this costume. Looking at some other details, I think the smaller gloves are super important as you kind of look at this figure and as you look at Batman as in this interpretation. I think that the smaller gloves really work for him. I really am a fan of the big chunky bat belt that we see here. I think overall we have a great suit and a great costume. The thing that gets me to buy these figures overall is the stories that they're based on. And so I love this story, and therefore I needed this Batman figure in my collection. Okay, so that was Batman, and now we're going to go into the White Knight Joker. I changed the head on this Joker the only other time that I unboxed it, because I like the Jack Napier head a lot more than the Joker head. I think that in this story, that Jack Napier is the better, superior character with the more interesting arc. So I thought I would grab the head that fits my needs a little bit more. So let's unbox this thing. Now we have the unboxed Jack Napier Joker. I love this look. I think the entire look of the figure looks so good. This was actually the first McFarlane toy that I picked up, because I just thought it was so excellent. They put so much detail into the entire character. This is, down to the shoes. I even love the character's shoes. And so I'll do a couple quick shots of the surrounding, details, the backside, the front side, the sideways view, up, down, side to side of the figure. But I just think this is one that speaks for itself. And they really nailed it when they went for the action figure adaptation of this character in particular. And they even, I'll zoom in, down to the eyeballs. They got the pupils right, because if you read the story, Jack Napier and Joker have two different colored pupils. One is green and one is purple. I think they're so cool and beautiful. So Now, in one of the more important shots, I switched heads on the Jack Napier Joker figure, and now you see what he looks like with the Joker head. That's what he came like in the box, but that's not quite what I wanted to have my figure pose as, because I like the Napier head better, and I think that's obviously more rare. And if you read the story, I think he spends more time as Napier than as the Clown Prince of Crime. So in the box, when I rebox him, I switch the heads on him. Okay, so now we're looking at the Azrael Batman armor. This is probably my favorite armor, and the reason I picked this figure up as opposed to the other figures is because of its homage to the Batman Nightfall Azrael Batman costume. I think that costume, the original Chuck Dixon series, is actually so dated, and the representation and the, I guess, transformation that this suit went to get into the 21st century, I guess, was so incredible that I knew I needed this figure. As soon as I saw it announced at Comic-Con, I knew I needed to pick it up. So this is probably, of all the figures I have here today, the one I'm most excited for. So let's unbox it. So this figure is the first one I actually had to unbox and then unbox the base, because it was so top heavy that his skinny little legs couldn't manage his like full armor and everything. So this one's a little different, but as you can see, he looks so good, and I think he looks really good on the base. I think I'm just gonna leave him out of the box and put him on the base as I display him for future videos and stuff. But yeah, I just really love the way this figure looks. The box was damaged in packaging as it was delivered anyways, so I am not bummed or missing out on anything based on what I'm seeing. So I'm stoked. Now, as I look at this character and I put him in his profile, you can see some of the parts where it was damaged from the box on his arm, where it's starting to bend right there. You know, that's kind of just what's going to happen with a piece like this. And you have such big pieces that are so big, when you kind of put them back in a box or you make them travel around, parts are going to get bent. I'm not bummed on it, and honestly, I just love the way this figure came out so much that I knew I needed to pick it up, and now that I see him in person, I'm still so glad I have him. Hopefully I can straighten that out over time, and yeah, he'll still look as good as he does, so I'm hyped about it. One of my favorite parts about this figure is his cape. I think that it looks so good, especially as you tuck it under the shoulder blades there, the big, massive shoulder blades with the spikes coming out of the neck. I think that those are some of my favorite pieces that I'm seeing as I look at this figure. The material and the rubber on the cape is actually really nice too. So I like whatever they used for that. I think I'm gonna be stoked on it still, no matter what. I think for this piece, some of the key details are the bat insignia in the middle. I just love the dark black, almost navy tones that he went with, and then the big gold bat symbol in the chest. The insignia looks almost kind of like the Nightwing symbol, which I don't think that was intentional. I just think that's my interpretation, but I really like it. The mask looks really good, and I'll do a zoom in shot on the red eyes. I think they are some of the most beautiful details. Alrighty, and now here is a shot of all the figures together. If you like content like this, make sure to leave me a thumbs up, maybe like and subscribe to the channel. Remember, I'm Cameron. I don't just read comics, I love them.